Welcome to this video. This is level 3, the corporal level on the equations bootcamp. This involves two-step equations with fractions. So I'd like to show you how you can rewrite equations 7 and 9 so that they look a little bit more like the two-step equations that you're used to. So let's look at 7. I see this expression 4x plus 1 all over 3. What I'm going to encourage you to do is take your 4x, put it over 3, and then rewrite your plus 1 over 3 equals 7. So by doing this, you've taken this large fraction and broken it into two smaller fractions. 4x plus 1 all over 3 means 4x divided by 3 and 1 divided by 3. So that's what we've got in our second equation. What we'll do now is just follow our steps for solving two-step equations. We've got 4/3 x as our variable term. We've got plus 1/3 as our constant term. So I'm going to use addition or subtraction, in this case subtraction, to eliminate the constant term. So I'll be left with 4/3 x equals 6 2/3. It's a little messy. I'm going to write that again. 6 2/3. Okay? As you may recall, when we now have 4/3 x, this is an equation where we have multiplication. We have 4/3 times x. We need to use division or multiplication to eliminate that coefficient. What we've been doing is multiplying by the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply both sides of this equation by 3/4. Now, if you're handy with fractions, go for it. Attack this problem. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my graphing calculator, which I think you could also use. I'm going to put in 6 2/3, 6 2/3 times 3/4. And I get 5. So here I've got x equals 5. Okay, if you have trouble entering in the mixed number 6 2/3, let me know, we can talk about it. Okay, number 8. We've got -4 minus 2/5 y equals -12. What we have here is a constant term of -4, a variable term of -2/5 y. We'll want to eliminate the constant term first by adding 4. So what we'll end up with is -2/5 y. Don't forget that that's negative, because that negative up here comes down with the 2/5, because that's a -2/5 y. That equals -8. All right? Again, I see -2/5 touching that y. That means it's multiplication. In order to eliminate the -2/5 y, I'm going to need to multiply by the reciprocal. Oops, not a third, a half. Same thing on the other side, -5/2. So I'm going to take -8 times -5/2. And I will get y equals +20. Okay? Feel free to pause the video at any time if you want to try working on this with your calculator, your grapher. All right, so for number 9, again, I'm going to use the same method I used on number 7 to rewrite this large fraction here as two separate fractions. So I'm going to rewrite this as 2g over 5 minus 6 over 5 equals -4. Okay? 2g over 5 is the variable term, minus 6/5 is the constant term, so I'm going to add 6/5 to both sides, and I'm going to end up with 2g over 5, also known as 2/5 g, equals -4 plus 6/5, -14/5. Okay, -14/5. Now I'm going to take my 2/5 g. I want to get that g alone. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of that fraction. I'm going to multiply by 5/2. And I see I can do some cross canceling on the right-hand side. That's going to give me negative 14 over 2. That would be negative 7. Okay, G equals negative 7. Okay? So folks, the key on this one is if you see an equation like 7 or 9, you can rewrite it as two separate fractions. There's another way to do this, but I'll get into that in another video. Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about on this level 3 is solving percent problems. Now, you may have learned a way to do this before, and if you have something that works for you, go for it. But what I like to do is translate word for word using the keywords in the red box. So I'm just going to go word for word on number 10. What is 40%? Now this should say over 100 for percent. So I'm going to say what is 40%? So what is 40 over 100 of is times and 30. Okay? This is the equation. What, that's x, is equals 40%, that's 40 over 100, of is times, and 30. Just filling the numbers in. You may have learned how to do this with proportions. You're going to get the same exact answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify this. I'm going to just do my calculation, 40 over 100 times 30. And I'm going to get 12. So I'll get x equals 12. Okay? Let's try another one where we just translate with these word for word translation. 21 is 35%, percent means over 100, of, that's times, what number? Okay, by putting the 35 over 100, touching the x, that means I've got of multiplication. That's multiplication right there. So how am I going to get x by itself? Well, I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, 100 over 35. 100 over 35. Okay, so I'm going to get 100 over 35 times 21. And that will give me 60. So I will get here 60 equals x. You could also write that as x equals 60. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.